Welcome to the next episode of KapVista Klips. We're back with Rod. This time he's talking about his other company, MediKane, which is exciting. Rod, welcome back.
Thank you.
Perfect. Tell us about MediKane. We just had the last episode for your company Extractor, but this one's about MediKane. This one is the first company that you started. They tie in nicely with the last one was about the waste products. And what's MediKane about? Tell us the story.
Right. So in summary, MediKane has got products that have now been clinically proven to help people live with chronic diseases. The flagship disease that we treat is diabetes, type 2 specifically, although people take it for gestational to minimise the risk and the effect. And we know, as yet not marketed, we know it's also effective for type 1. I can talk more about that one-on-one. But it's primarily targeted at type 2, which is some 80% of the diabetes market anyway. You mentioned Extractor. MediKane had many problems getting ingredients that worked synergistically with each other, and we had many failures, and we decided that because of that, we didn't want to import products, so we'd start our own manufacturing. We decided to not put it as part of MediKane for a whole bunch of reasons which are worthy of a separate discussion, but MediKane is desperately needing Extractor to provide high quality, sensibly priced ingredients, certainly cheaper than importing, but more consistent quality. So MediKane's about chronic conditions. Diabetes is an interesting chronic condition in that it's actually called medically an unmet need. And that is a medical term, but it basically says that even the best drugs in the world, which are fantastically good, the pharmaceutical drugs, they allow people to live with diabetes, but they, for most people, tragically allow the condition to get worse over time in any one individual. We've got plenty of evidence now, and I'm a living example, that the condition can be made to either be held static, not get worse, or in some cases, and proudly I'm one, it gets better and better. I've been on it now for 8 years. They've got several other people. This is not a clinical result. We've got a lot of clinical results on the effectiveness. We haven't got a clinical result on this, but we've got a heap of people that have found if they take our product regularly over a period of years, the condition does not get worse. That's massively significant for the business and for shareholders, because there is no product in the world, no drug or any other product that even claims that, let alone does it. So that's a real massive competitive advantage. The basic MediKane products work on improved gut health, though, and diabetes is an outcome, a great outcome for us, but it's also good for a number of other conditions, chronic inflammation and the conditions around that. We're launching a straight dietary fibre product, which people like dietary fibre, even though it won't have quite the same effects, but it's a valid dietary fibre product. We've got a product for gut health and microbiome health. So a range of products all centred around long-term gut health and microbiome health. It's a prebiotic, obviously, for microbiome health. So that's what MediKane does. And our whole position is we treat chronic conditions. We're not going to, the NutriKane brand, which is the flagship brand, we're only going to use that brand for chronic conditions. We've got a lot of approaches for other things. We're not doing it. We think we need to specialise. There's such a massive market for diabetes. Rather than dilute the efforts, we're going to focus on that. In terms of risk minimisation, though, in terms commercially and for our business and for investors, we're actually using the same supply chain for 5 different product groups. Surprise, surprise, animals, dogs in particular and cats, get the same conditions that humans get, almost the same biochemistry. So we've now got a partner. We own 30-odd% of the partner, but they're using our products differently branded for dogs and cats. They're just launching as we speak. We've got an industrial division that takes our product and sells high-quality dietary fibre to large companies that buy industrial dietary fibre to improve the label demands. We have a white label division. The white label, of course, is using our base products that other people pay all the marketing, sales, and branding costs. Strategically important to us because it's a great cash flow. We don't own the brands, and progressively over time, the percentage of profit from that will have to come down because shareholder value is most produced by branded products. But this is a good way to get there because it's good cash flow. So that's MediKane.
That's perfect. Perfect. So, we understand, from the last video how, why you started the company, because you had a long history in the food product space and you worked your way up to quite senior.
Yeah.
You wanted to build your own thing. But tell us about the team behind MediKane.
Can I make one point about MediKane? Because MediKane was started first, and it was interesting. I studied insulin and diabetes when I was in my undergrad career. I'm a biochemist by training, although not by skill set anymore. And so it was interesting. I sort of twigged my ears when I was in a different company of factors in Japan, and noticed that one of a very normal ingredient, if treated differently to normal, will have a minor diabetic effect. So that's what tweaked our interest. I actually grabbed my then partner, still a partner, he's a technical guy, and mentioned it to him and got him to evaluate it technically. Sure enough, the effect was real, and we could produce a product cost effectively. We could produce it at about a 60 or 70 margin into a demand that was growing. So that was what tweaked MediKane, and the other business came as a supplier because we needed high quality ingredients. Awesome.
So the team's the same between the two companies?
No, they're not. So we've got a 5-member board and 2 others within MediKane, and my partner Malcolm and I, we are part of both businesses. And yes, that looks a bit like a conflict of interest, but they're both so intimately entwined. At this stage, we're going to keep control of it until such times as someone comes along and wants to run one or other. We've got a marketing guy in MediKane, blue chip CV, Unilever, etc. And right now, I have asked him purely as a service to help establish the path to market for the other business, Extractor. But he's full-time MediKane. He's just having the website. We've got several websites in MediKane, getting them done again, redoing our back end so we can improve the commercial selling part of MediKane. The corporate governance guy I mentioned, he's primarily in MediKane. In fact, he's entirely in MediKane, but he's occasionally can't help himself giving me advice in Extractor. The CFO's very much part of MediKane, but he does offer the CFO service to Extractor. MediKane was the first business. There's arguments as which is the bigger opportunity. I can't help thinking that diabetes is by far the bigger opportunity because the pharmaceutical industry, after 50 years, has not found a solution. We appear to have a great one.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we understand how the team came together. We understand the solution, the products you've got to market. Tell us more about the milestones achieved for MediKane, because this is an established product. It's in market. You're a living proof of its effectiveness. Tell us the milestones achieved.
Yeah, sure. So we're quite pleased with where we've come. We've got repeat sales. They're not as big as I'd like them, of course. They never will be, I guess. But we've got repeat sales here in the US and in Asia, but they're small. COVID knocked us around, and we're just recovering from that now. Sales are coming back, but our biggest single task is to double sales again. We've got a proven range of products. We've got, I mentioned earlier, I think, we've got 5 different market segments unrelated. So any market risks that affect one will not affect the others, all from the one administration and one supply chain. We've done, I think, 16 or more clinical and preclinical trials. We've had trials done by dietitians, universities, ad nauseum, and they're available, of course. And the single most compelling outcome from that is that they all lead you to the same technical conclusion, that what we've got works primarily for the gut and for diabetes.
Yeah.
We haven't had the funds to do 1,000-person clinical trials. We do intend to do that one day, pre-exit, because that'll improve the exit value. Mm-hmm. But in the short term, we won't need to. Dietitian trials have become very powerful. People trust dietitian trials, it would appear, a little bit more than medical trials in some cases. So dietitian and nutritional trials have been important. We've got a lot of them. The fact that we meet the unmet need. We've got a series of grants. I think we've had, I should have this in my head, but it's well over $2 million worth of grants. Every year we do extremely well out of the R&D, the ATO R&D incentive. We've raised over $8 million in total. We've got a subsidiary in the US. We've got committed offtakes in Australia and the US. And some of them are simply waiting for us to have more capacity. Perfect. Frustrating, but it's terrific, but it's frustrating.
Yeah. So tell me about the distribution though of the product. You said it is global distribution. What does that look like?
We're not global yet. We will be. No, today we sell primarily. We sell online, of course. Yep. Here in the US, we sell through distributors here, mm-hmm. And some retail outlets. Yep. In Sydney, it's in Mr. Vitamins. We have it on a pharmacy online and a number of other companies. We haven't as yet cracked a major chain in the US. Mm-hmm. We've got our fellow over there that works for us. He used to be part of Diabetes Australia, so he knows diabetes pretty well. And he tested our product, decided it was great, so he wanted to join the business. He's now in the US, and he's helping us get into some very large offtakes in the US. I won't mention the names because I haven't signed them, but there's some very significant retail outlets. I've got him on, got 350 or 60 retail outlets pretty much throughout the whole country, and they focus on plant-based foods that are proven. So the first thing they want is our evidence, and then they try the product and they've given it a tick. So, but we can't supply 40,000 tubs a month right now. We will soon, but we can't now.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Now, this is a space as we get to an aging population, and diabetes is gut health is a massive focus. So the demand for products will be increasing, over the next sort of 10 years.
Yeah, I think so. Look, without any doubt, I believe, I've got no evidence here, I believe that the attitude of society and the awareness of diabetes is increasing really well. People's awareness have had to distinguish between, let me say, snake oil products that claim a lot but don't do much, yep. And real products. The people's ability to differentiate real products from products that have marketing claims but not a lot else is massively improved. That helps us massively. Mm-hmm. So I think people will progressively be more aware of diabetes, but it's growing at such a fast rate in spite of people's greater awareness. They need a product like ours to help them. One of the good things about our overall positioning is that it's not just diabetes, it's lifestyle diseases. Interestingly, diabetes is controllable by lifestyle, good lifestyle. Yeah. Proper diet, reducing weight, drinking less, not smoking, and exercising a lot. Yeah. And we help most of those things. The vast majority of the population won't do that over a period. That's sad, maybe, but it's to our great advantage. And our product does help people do that. It does help people lose weight. It certainly has a biochemical effect on blood sugar management, and we can demonstrate exactly how that works. Interestingly, not clinically proven, but we've had a report from users that people feel more energetic. A number of people, more than a number, a lot of people have said to us, I now am more willing to go out for a walk every morning because I feel better. I feel more energetic. Now, there was a professor at Macquarie University, Professor Fulsom. He believes he understands what causes that effect. Whether we know what it causes or not, it's true. People feel better. So we help people with a healthy lifestyle, and separately help insulin sensitivity.
Yeah, perfect. So you're raising. Tell me about how much you're raising and what the offer is. What's the momentum you've had on that as well? And again, what's it being used for?
Yeah, it's all for growth. We're currently got a $2 million raise on for that business. A number of institutions have clearly want to invest more. So we've got a 3-year raise where $2 million will be enough to get us very, very strongly cash positive, primarily in Australia, but to really take the US on seriously, and some other Asian countries will need to invest. So we're very happy to take a significantly bigger raise. We've got a use of funds sheet that stretches over several years. And obviously there's milestones. You wouldn't get the second tranche unless you'd achieved the first tranche. So $2 million right now for Australia, and it's pretty much all for growth. That includes some sales teams in the B2B stuff. We've got a couple of hospital products, and that needs a sales team. The gut health product and the diabetes product are online retail products, so they need a digital and retail marketing strategy. That's primarily retail marketing is an expensive exercise, cheaper these days through digital, but so we'll need that, and that's we're investing in it now. Sales team for hospitals, sales team for industrial. We've got the pet business already separately organised. We'll just help them with products, so that all of the money is for growth.
Perfect. And you said you've got institutionals who are looking to be involved. How much of that $2 million have you got secured?
Well, not much of it. We've got recently, in the last couple of months, there's about 260 have been committed and partly invested. But we haven't, so we've only scratched the surface of the 2 million. Again, we have a staged, we're pretty good at making progress without a lot of money, having done it for a long while. The 2 million is what we want to really drive it to a significant turnover in Australia, about 7 or 8 million. We are part way through that. There's a number of institutions looking at us now, as you know, Daniel, that'll either go well or not. But certainly I've got much more interest, people calling me than I've ever had. And that's exciting because the business is coming of age, the products are in the market, they work, and there's not a lot of competition at the very sharp end of this. There's plenty of products out there that claim to do what we do. That's why we need the funds to differentiate that our products work.
Yeah, well, that's perfect. It's exciting. It's a product that is in demand, and will be in demand for the next 10 years at least, if not.
At least much more.
Yeah, and you have a proven solution that's in market and generating revenue. So it's exciting.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do.
It's exciting.
Yep.
Okay, great. We mentioned with Extractor, these businesses are intertwined, but because you have the first, the MediKane's the first, but you have Extractor and you have a controlled supply chain, so the cost of production will always be managed, and will be as obviously as low as possible. So that's a strong point going forward. And I think that's an incredible selling point, because you won't be dictated by market.
No.
Yeah.
I'd like to make the point also that the reason we've put the businesses together as we have is because it makes the most economic sense.
Yeah.
I'd like to buy Australian and buy more cost effectively, but without Extractor as a supplier, we can get we're importing the product right now, the raw materials, that is. So MediKane's an entity that'll exist. Without Extractor, it'll just be more profitable with it.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, great. So anybody who's watching this video and wants to get in touch with Rod, his details are on the MediKane website, which I'll put in the comments. I'll also put my details in the comments. So if you want to get in touch with Rod, either go directly or come through me and I can make an introduction. But it's been great chatting to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Daniel.
It's interesting to understand about both your businesses, and we wish you good luck, because I'm excited.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye.